All right, welcome to another episode of the Tight 15 podcast that never really goes for 15 minutes. It's good to be back with you. I'm your host, as always, Ryan. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Marcus and Tom. And this week we have another very special guest, a man who had to ask his parents' permission to stay up till 9:30 to record the pod with us tonight. A man who's actually in the doghouse this week because he accidentally called his girlfriend Aubameyang during a recent makeout sesh. It's Bailey Mears. Welcome, Bailey.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's always been a big dream of mine to be on here.
Fantastic. We're stoked to have you, Bailey. Let's start, as we always do, with the game week review. So, starting at the top with perhaps the biggest upset of the season. Big Balls Bales flopped his balls all over Lucas's balding head this week, as his score of 69 was the highest score of the round. Well done, Bailey. You've handed Lucas his second defeat in a row, and that's got a sting.
This is the new style of hair regrowth. It's just something he's trying, so I think he needed it.
I'm pretty obliged.
Yeah. Need to put him somewhere.
Just ask, you know.
Sweaty balls flopped on your head may regrow hair.
Yeah.
Worked for Shane Warne.
This week.
Tommy, who did you pick? Who did you have from that one? Bailey and Lucas.
I got this wrong. I strongly picked Lucas to win. If you remember, I said Bailey had a 90-degree gradient to climb. And boy, did he climb it. So I got that.
I actually have a
very
quote
wrong.
here. I actually have a quote here that because I watched this recently. I'm sorry, Bailey. We all think the same. You're going to have a big loss to Lucas this week. I'm just gonna let you guys see that.
We trashed your team last week, and then you trashed us with an amazing performance. So well done, Bailey. Let's move on to the next match. Any coincidence, gents, that Lee's back pain flared up this week as the Big Daddies came to town? I think not.
Flop their big balls. Another trial.
Marcus is the only undefeated manager, and he's claimed another scalp in the battle for supremacy in the Manhouse alumni. Lee's defeat now moves him behind Tim Hirons and Quinny in the rankings of the worst FPL managers the Manhouse has ever seen.
Poor Tim Hirons.
Tommy, who did you pick in that one?
I got this right. I picked Marcus. Yeah, easy.
Good stuff. Pingers Paxton forgot to take his Ritalin again this week. His loose lips talking trash in the chat, but thankfully he backed it up with another solid win over Tom Job, whose decision to transfer in and captain Aguero, who was subbed off after 45 minutes with an injury, has to go down as probably the worst decision any manager has made so far this season. Not to mention the 25 points Tom Job had on his bench. Tommy, who did you pick out of Parlay and Job?
I got this wrong. I said Joby would win, but it was Parlay that won. So,
Parlay.
Got that wrong.
Pez?
Going to take your tipping license off you.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what the future holds.
Holds keys.
Pez, he learned how to change his FPL team name this week, but he also got his second win in a row. A solid 5-point win against me, the pretender, they'll start calling me. Simeon Cumberland, ladies and gents. Oh, before we move on, Tommy, who did you pick out of me and Perrin?
I got this wrong again. I picked you, which I thought would be obvious, but Perrin came through very strangely and won.
Well, you're only human. You're only human.
I'm only human.
Simeon Cumberland has vacated the Owen Club. He's claimed his first win of the season against Geordie. Who did you pick out of that one, Tom?
Yeah, I picked this dead on. I said Simeon would have a good week, and he nearly top scored. He actually got 64, but -4 with his transfer, so he got 60, a very good score, and beat Geordie pretty well.
Fantastic. Ladies and gents, Sam Mears has done it again. He's claimed his second 2-point win in a row. He loves the small margins, Sam Mears. This time against last week's podcast guest, Luke Wheeler. Luke has fallen victim to the curse of the pod, ensuring that every manager who comes on the pod loses next week. Beware, Bailey. Who did you tip out of that one, Tom?
Yeah, well, Luke is with us, and I really I gassed him up a lot. I thought his team was really good, and he was on a roll, and I got this definitely wrong.
Yeah, no, you're not the only one there. I thought Luke had it in the bag, but well done, Sam Mears. Tommy Mulheron, you have scored a narrow win over Brandon James. Well done. The gamble of Zaha on the wild card is paying off like your parents' trust fund, mate. Well done.
I'll tell him you said that. I'll tell him you said that.
And who did you pick out of
I
yourself?
picked
and Brendan?
myself. I picked myself, and I was confident. Yeah, big, huge, correct tip there. I'm going to keep doing it. I think I'm going to keep picking myself.
Yeah, back yourself in the win. It's positive. Sung Mu is proving to be a force to be reckoned with, much like Majin Buu from Dragon Ball Z, if anyone can remember. Nikolai, who unfortunately went down to Sung Mu this week, he has the worst FPL form of any manager in the league. He's lost 4 matches in a row. No
Ooh.
other manager is in that losing streak right now. And he continues his slide like the snake from Snakes and Ladders down the table.
The snake at the very end.
That's
Where
right.
On square 99, it takes you back down. The snake.
Who did you pick out of that one, Tom?
Already.
I predicted Nikolai's slide. I picked Brian, and I was very confident that got that one right.
Fantastic. And the last match of the round, Dave Murray, he struggled this week. It seems as though the heat he copped in the chat from Luke Wheeler in last week's pod really got to him. The mind games unsettled the young stallion as he fell humbly to Dan Baker. Special shout out to Dan Baker. You're dominating the FPL this season. Well done. Against all odds, you've got the second highest overall score and you're coming third on the overall table. It's a reminder that FPL dreams really do come true. Tommy, who did you back on that one?
Yeah, I backed Daniel. I said David would keep sliding, and David might not keep sliding, but Daniel's going to stay up the top for a while. I can see. Yeah, he's good. He's well set.
Yeah, good pick, Tom. Well done.
So,
you finished strongly with your tips there.
So 5 out of 9 last week. Luke mentioned last week, the week before, I got 2 out of 9. So good improvement from me there.
Yeah, I think if you can get over 50%,
Listen, you're going
that's
to 8 this week.
If I get 8, yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, so that's game week 6. That's the review done. Marcus, you've got the stat of the week for us.
Start of the week. Hopefully this time, start of the week doesn't get cut in the thrown on the editor's floor. So I'll keep it concise this week. So going through the stats, myself this week, we came up with, so this week in the scoring, all beer zone occupants got a win, except for Lee. Fourth form with the lowest score of the round. Also copying the second largest losing margin of 22. Bailey, of course, winning by 25 this week. And the second, it ties in with that semi. Joby, Ryan, and Nikolai this week chalked up their first game week score in the bottom 3. And can we guess who our most vanilla manager is? It continues to be. Who can you think of?
Parlay.
We would love if it was Parlay, but it's actually Perrin. He's the only player to not have a bottom 3 score this season. So he just remains consistently below the average.
Okay.
Amazingly below the average.
Good on him, mate.
That's the Perrin.
Wow,
Hopefully that slipped in. Start of the week, not on the editor's floor this week. Hopefully.
That's got to make the final cut.
Yeah,
That's
I
fantastic.
love that stat.
Well, this is the rate we're going. We're going to be done in 20 minutes.
That's what we like to see. Type 15.
Great.
Well, it is a bit worrying for someone like me who lost this week, knowing that the strugglers so far this season are already 1-0. That means I'm going to have to win maybe 3 matches in this group to avoid the beer zone. So if you didn't win this last week, beware.
Beware.
Good stuff. Thanks, Marcus. An amazing start of the week. Over to you, Tom, for our table update.
Yeah, so as we know, the table resets. We've got another block of 5 game weeks coming at us to decide the next set of beers to be owed or to be given and to be received. So I put the table up as well, like I did last week. At the moment, in the zone where people are owed beers, we've got Bailey right at the top, Daniel, Simeon, Sam, Tom, myself, Tom Mulheron, and Brian. So some strange names flying so high up the table with a 1-0 record. Simeon, Bailey, and myself as well. And Sam, you could say as well. Brian will probably stay up there, but we'll see what happens with the rest of us. It could be a bit of a fluky week, but hope not. In the middle, we've got Marcus, Perrin, Parlay, Luke, Geordie, and Dave Murray. Now, if you notice, at this stage, Dave Murray and Brandon are both 0-1, but they're both on 46 overall points. So naturally, I had to decide who was 12th and out of the beer zone and who was 13th and in the beer zone. And I decided just during the chat the other day that it was whose captain scored higher. So that is now the metric for the rest of the season.
That is the metric, because this pod is law.
Yes.
Can't fight it.
Yeah. So Brandon, I'm sorry, but it's only, a small sample size. We love our sample sizes here on the pod. Moving down the table, Lucas and Ryan, Nikolai, Tom Job, and Lee. Some big names in the beer zone.
Is Lee coming last in that table?
Lee is coming last. A total score of 23.
Disappointment, Lee.
And is Quinny just ahead of Lee there and Tim Hirons?
Oh, so actually, no, you're right. So Lee should be 20th. And yeah. But also I just noticed Lee is a third of Bailey's score. Bailey's score is 3 times Lee's score.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
It's kind of
Well,
wild.
Lee's score of 23 is pretty much everyone just getting 2 points. Everyone blanking pretty much, including his cap. He's just under that. That's insane.
Yeah, that is
What a crap
insane.
league.
Yeah. It was a tough
Oh,
week
only
for
upwards
many
league.
managers. Yeah. All right. Well, it wasn't a tough week for our special guest this week. Over to you, Marcus, for our Meet the Manager
Yes.
segment.
Over to me. All right, Bailey. Ryan just described you as special. Do you feel special to be here?
I really do. I think none of us ever would have thought that I would have been in this position. But here we are,
Yeah.
and I'm going to write it out. I'm going
You
to enjoy my 5 minutes.
Yeah, right. No, get used to it, bro.
Ah.
Wait, you could be a pod guest next week.
let's hope so.
Let's hope so. My time manager he's tapping his watch, so I'm going to just dig right into the questions that were sent through by the focus group. So, what do you think of the resurgence of Simeon, not only in FPL, but more importantly in the chat? Well, semi in the chat. I did see him post 4 in a row, and he's probably gone back into mute the chat. But what do you make of this?
Look, I think it's only good for the game. More people in the chat means more banter. More people paying attention and getting their teams done on time. Because it's tighter competition.
Yeah,
It's good stuff.
that's what we like.
Good
Bloody
stuff.
hope. And what about who's your favourite Paxton, and why is that?
Oh my goodness. Based just purely off comments made in the chat this week, I'm gonna have to say Nikolai. Fellow Arsenal fans, that's also goes a long way.
So there's nothing going for Parlay in your eyes.
Oh no, look.
Oh, just say it, bro.
Good. No, good. I'm just, it came after people in my personal life, my tips, and that's not on. That's not on.
Oh, he did too, didn't he?
It was pretty rogue of him. It was quite rogue, and I think he deleted them pretty swiftly. I'm sure most of us saw it.
No, it's right. No,
It's great.
we chatted. It's all good.
Yeah, okay.
Took it on offline.
Did he call you outside of the chat?
No. We just messaged each other. It was fine. It's all good.
That is nice that we've kept it wholesome.
Yeah.
He told me he'd self-imposed a ban on himself.
I got the same audio clip.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's his ban?
Oh,
2-day ban.
No, good. Keep it up. Look at the man, I say. Bring him back.
So, mate, I've
Say
sent
more rogue
All
units.
right. Can you hear this?
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, go on.
myself to the bin for 10, and I won't be on the chat for 2 days.
Did he break it or did he follow that?
No, I think he's followed it.
Mate, I've taken it too far, and Tommy has taken it now into his own hands. It was like, nah, mate, we're not
I'm
done.
taking it into my own hands.
You know what I mean? I get that. I think I'm a bit too angry today, and we just need to just chill out.
No, it's all good.
We should have a segment on the
do
pod every week of a voice message we play to the
There's a rogue voice message.
Yeah.
That's like pretty well. It's good that he knows his limits, and it's good
Yeah.
that you
Yeah,
show
respect.
forgiveness towards him.
That's all. All fine.
But yeah, I suppose it's more than words. It's all in the FPL performances. So he's got to grovel a bit more to get up to your high standards. Semi on that note, how many managers in the chat do you think that you could pin down 1, 2, 3?
Pin down what's 3? As in, like,
In a table ladders chairs match. Just I don't know, Christchurch Glazeville on that green section in front of the canteen.
pin
Many
down.
others. Yeah,
Like, wrestle?
you're just pinning them. However you get them down there.
I like
Pin him down for 3
no
seconds.
one.
No one.
Surely
What about your
Nikolai.
brother?
Oh no,
What about
Sam's
Nikolai?
Sam's
Nikolai, your brother.
Nikolai. Oh, maybe Nikolai. I don't know. He's gonna laugh about that.
Parlay too.
Parlay. Yeah.
What about Lee?
3.
You just hang in after 60 seconds, he'll gas, and then you've got it.
No.
Throw a Coke somewhere. He'll gas himself. All right, there's 4. All right, what about 5? Which other weaklings do we have? I reckon Molsey? You could take him?
Nah.
Dave
Also, that
Murray?
rugby experience. No, Dave. Nah. Dave would just charm me. He'd charm me. I can't.
Yeah, we have all fallen
What
victim
about
to
Geordie?
that
What about
charm.
how Geordie's so slow? You could probably pin Geordie.
Yeah, dude, he's got half a knee joint left. Probably in your favour.
No.
Brandon's pretty strong. I think we'd be a pretty fair
Yeah.
match.
Me and you.
You're quite tall.
I wouldn't say I'm like quite tall. I wouldn't say I'm tall actually. I don't know. Fairly. What?
Maybe we'd tie. You'd be. I reckon
Yeah.
you'd be Herb. He's like
Yeah.
deceptively weak. Oh, he's gonna hate that. Aaron, easy. Anyway, Tom did have a proper question, and then actually we wanted to ask you a question about your team.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Topic.
Marcus and I were discussing today. We were having some problems. We were trying to come up with a list of
I'm into this.
the
This is all
top
Tom.
three, the top 3 beta males in the chat. We're trying to come up with a list, right? And we were struggling. And now, obviously, you're number 1, Bailey, but we're struggling with number 2 and 3. So trying to help us with
Yeah, I'll share this
2 and 3.
message
Yeah.
out.
No, listen. Are you writing the message? Okay, wait. What?
Is it an audio clip? I want to hear
Yeah,
some
he's going to play
audio.
the audio clip.
Me.
Are you going to play it? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, ask something like, Bailey, given you're the number 1 beta male, who do you think are 2nd and 3rd list of beta males in the chat?
Ooh,
Tom,
that's a
actually,
great
can you actually edit this and just play that as though we've got a call in?
Oh, I could do that. Yeah. That'd be
And
funny.
wait, are you actually good with clipping? If I say, actually, we've got a call-in question, I'll just play it now, and then play that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if we
We
leave
don't
it.
edit any of this and just keep it like real bizarre.
Yeah, okay.
No. Kind of leave a gap now, and then cut the clip, and then put what Marcus is about to say. That will flow well.
Yeah.
And you,
So anyway, the
sorry,
list, Bailey.
you don't have to answer that as well.
But pretend we've
well,
got a
We want to
phone
be
call.
building each other up. We want to be building each other up. Huh?
Yeah.
Wait, what did you say?
I thought you were going to pretend that we've got a phone call. We've got a call on
Do
the
you
line.
guys see that?
Yeah, I can hear that.
Watching this since the clinic split it red.
What is that? It's Bailey. Wait, keep it in.
That's
Last
you.
time I got the heart, I was 17. What people say socialize. What do they mean? I got no friend.
What is that?
Whatever it is, you have to keep that.
Your face, you were so embarrassed. You're not even laughing, you're embarrassed.
Did a virus? Did someone hack your computer, bro, and play that right then?
Oh my gosh.
What was
Was it
that?
YouTube playing behind it?
That's him. That's Bailey.
There's nothing on the screen. What the hell?
How'd you stop it then? How'd you stop it?
Yeah.
I pulled my headphones out.
Okay, put them back in. Put them back in.
Bailey was the only one to like recognize it. We were all like shocked, and he was like, "Oh crap, I know what that is.
Yeah.
That's me singing something to Leo."
Hey,
Okay,
go on.
go on.
There you go. It's good.
Let's do that. Acting all coy.
Yeah.
Bro, this is insane. This is like the best content we've had in a while.
Yeah,
You're my favorite. You're my favorite pod guest.
oh my
I
God.
love it.
Screw anyone before
Well,
you.
we still need to hear an answer though. So we've got Bailey in the 3. Who else is there, Bailey?
Well, I feel like the question is a bit loaded because if I name number 2 and 3, I'm admitting that I'm number 1. But also, wouldn't being number 1 beta better be than being number 2?
Well, that
Yeah, because then you get the beta.
Yeah. You're the beta.
It's like king of the nerds. You don't want to be the king.
no, you always want to be the king.
All right.
No, no.
I'm gonna say, betas. Sam Mears. Oh.
Yeah, respect that.
Bro, your brother's confident tonight.
I think controversial, but I'm going to say it because you can't respond for a little while. Dan Baker.
Mm.
Oh,
I think yeah.
Explain why.
I'm not going to. Why? I think just his I think he's number 3 beta because he's not very good at it, but he's still there in spirit. And
Scrapes in.
I think there's that rough exterior, but inside is just a little beta, and
Big mushy boy.
that's all right. That's okay.
Scrapes into the beta zone.
There's got to be betas, in the world. So fine. Sort of
Yeah. I should disclaimer that we also want the chat to be a place of building each other up. I know it sounds funny after having that beta chat, but we can be kind.
yeah. I think it's important. Maybe I feel like I want to say something kind. I just want to acknowledge that despite the lack of composure, I enjoy seeing Parlay in the chat. Thanks, Parlay. I hope it continues. That's my nice comment. Tom, do you have a nice comment for anyone?
I really don't mind the boys that are not on the chat a lot. I really, I respect the fact that the Dave Murrays of the world, the Brandon Diaz's, Simeon Cumberland's, just plugging along with their life. They've got their priorities straight. Number one thing in life is not the fancy chat. And I really respect those guys who are going about their lives and just, dabbling in the chat here and there.
Yeah, nice.
I see fit. That's true. Mine was going to be very broad and general, but I do enjoy how the chat is, how it oscillates between like some rambling essay that no one follows from Lee/Parlay, but then we talk about the morality behind gambling or other issues. I think it's good to have the ecosystem, the chat ecosystem of people who like want to contribute different things. No, it's been it is a lot of fun. And I was just thinking, it's been put on me to think more about using our words kindly and wisely, particularly when we have people that we're not as sure can are copying to possibly.
Yeah, it's a really.
Bailey,
good
who are
point.
your kind words for?
My kind words. I think it is clear very often that the chat that is happening is banter, and I think it is good that we're being that we're gonna try and be a bit more careful with our words maybe, but I think it is also we're all mates, but that's it's good. It's good stuff. I don't know. I think the chat is nice, and I sometimes regret muting it, but I still it's just because it buzzes every single time, and I just wish it doesn't have to buzz. Silent notifications, come on, but not happening.
Yeah, totally. Bailey, before we finish,
Yeah, true. There's not unless you mute it.
we want to actually talk about your FPL team. The reason you're here tonight is because of your FPL team success. And so Tommy, with his magic powers, is going to have your team on the screen now.
Okay.
And we're going to look at your team ahead of this game week. Look, at the moment, what I can see, you've got Matt Ryan in goals, you've got Justin, Chilwell and Robertson in defence. You've got Aubameyang, James Rodriguez, Zaha, Mane, Calvert-Lewin, Bamford and Watkins, with Martinez, Pereira, Reguilon and Walker-Peters on the bench. Do you have any transfer plans for this game week? Who are you looking to bring in?
It actually brings me a lot of sadness to announce this news, actually. But I've betrayed my one true love. I've swapped him out for Son.
That's huge.
And part of me is like, that's just utter betrayal. But you know, you can't argue with form. And since I've had a taste of being at the top, I want to stay there. You know, and you just you got to do what you got to do. These things happen.
Yeah, totally. Just to be clear, it had nothing to do with the fact that you mentioned his name in a recent interaction with your girlfriend.
No. She just, it's fine. She just doesn't want me to, you know, hang around him that much anymore.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's fine. Like yeah. We've sorted it out. It's all good.
Good stuff. Are you looking to make another move? Because Aubameyang to Son would have freed up a bit of cash.
Yes. So I do have a bit of cash. I'm not that good of a fancy manager. So I don't know when to take the risk and just take a 4-point hit. But I should probably find out when to do that. And I think I might. I'm just not sure what to, you know, who to swap out. I'm not good at this.
Well, maybe people in the chat, once they see your team, they might get in the Milady League chat and post some suggestions there for you.
That's
Finally,
great.
who are you going to captain this week, do you think?
I am going to captain Son. Coming up against Brighton. They're Brighton. You know, they're not bad, but you know, Spurs are in. They've got the form. You know, I think it's a safe bet. Yeah.
Good stuff. Fantastic. Thanks, Bailey. We wish you well this week. Speaking of this week, over to you, Tom, for our Game Week 7 matchups.
Yeah, so the first matchup is Nikolai and Bailey. Now, I've written down here, Nikolai's going to win because Bailey has Aubameyang. But now that Bailey no longer has Aubameyang, I think Bailey's going to win. And Nikolai will keep sliding. So Bailey's going to have another good win this week. Awesome. Good transfer, Bailey.
Thank you.
Myself against Daniel. Now, we were talking about this, me and Daniel, the other night. We've actually got a very similar team and probably too similar. But I'm going to just back myself again, just out of nature. I'm going to say I'm going to beat him. But it's going to come down to like one or two players.
Tom, can I quickly ask, you guys are close friends. Will you speak to each other over the course of the weekend, or is it on ice until the result's delivered?
No, so Daniel actually wanted to say, like, let's have an agreement where we show each other our teams before I don't know if that'll happen, but yeah. See what happens.
Don't trust a beta.
No.
Don't trust a beta.
Yeah. Number 3.
Number 3, Dana.
Sam against David. Now, Sam also has Aubameyang in his team. If Sam keeps him in, I'm going to say he's going to lose. And I've written David will win here because of Sam's Aubameyang in his team. Same reasons. Bailey would have lost. Geordie against Brian. I think Brian is due for a loss and Geordie is going to start climbing. I think there's nothing too dissimilar about their teams. But, yeah, I think Brian is due for a loss. He's going to lose here to Geordie. Perrin versus Brandon. Now, Brandon was unlucky last week, losing to me. He has a good team. I think his team's better than Perrin's. And Brandon's going to keep, like, he got 100. His team's going to keep doing well. He's not going to have a flop week anytime soon, I think. So Brandon's going to beat Perrin there. Tom Job against Luke. Now, I said Luke last week would rattle off a few wins, would go on a tear, so to speak. And it didn't start last week because Luke lost. But I'm going to say Luke, his tear will start this week. Tom Job will lose. Luke will start a nice winning streak. Now, Lee versus Simeon. This is funny. I was thinking about Simeon's team I was with him when he's made those transfers last week, and his team looks really good. And I was just looking at Lee's team, and a second ago, let me just pull it up. Lee's team actually has some huge problems, and he even made 2 transfers last week, so copped a -4 for his team. So he actually scored 27, but then only got 23. And his team, his midfielders are actually
Really bad.
they're awful. Suchek, Moutinho, Fernandez, Salah, and Barkley. And then Jimenez is good up front, but then Aguero is his other striker. He's got some major problems. And Lucas Digne at the back with the red card, he's out.
I think, Tom, this will be the week that Lee wild cards. Remember he had that deliberation last week?
Yeah,
I think he'll wild card. He has to, looking at that team.
Yeah, Lee is in trouble. But I think Simeon is going to win again. Lucas against Ryan. Now, this is huge.
Ooh.
Two great
Tasty.
mates playing against each other. Yeah, very tasty. Ryan needs a win, and Lucas is not the person he wants to come up against. I'm going to say Lucas is going to win, and Ryan will go to, 2 and 5. Ryan will go to 2 and 5.
Lucas and I talk a lot, actually, about fantasy. Now I know I'm versing him. I think I might radio silence for the rest of the week.
Yeah. And then the final matchup.
I need his help, though.
Oh, shut up.
The final matchup, Marcus against Parlay. I'm thinking Parlay won't fluke a win like he did last week. He'll score low again and lose. Marcus, I picked you last week. You didn't want me to, but I picked you and you won, so I'm going to pick you again. You're going to win again this week.
I love that. But just remember, Parlay and I are both the perennial luck merchants.
Yeah.
Awful, but we just win. So this will be very low scoring. One of us will win by 1 or something like that.
Yeah, and that rounds out game week 7.
Fantastic. Thanks, Tom. Looking forward to seeing how those results play out. For our last segment, we just wanted to have a quick word and say that this segment is sponsored by Sportsbet, but it's equally sponsored by Lee Cartwright's Betting Support Group. So take your pick, which one you want there.
50% ownership.
We are shaking up the bold predictions.
Yeah, they share a building.
The bold predictions will now only be done by the podcast guest. So last week, Luke predicted Jimenez to score 2 goals and get a yellow card. He was pretty close to the mark. Jimenez did score. He got 3 bonus points. So well done, Luke. We'll count that as an almost win. Bailey, over to you for the bold prediction for this week.
Yes. So my bold prediction involves the Fulham West Brom game, a real championship game. 2 championship teams, really, fighting it out in the big leagues. I think Fulham are in for their first win of the season. I think Mitrovic, he's a championship striker. I think he will score 2 goals, goal and an assist at least. That's my bold prediction.
Is Mitrovic getting 10 plus points?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I don't mind it. And Bailey, you said you had something else for us as well.
I do, and this prediction is more of a group. I think there's a group. They sat around the crystal ball. They had a look at this, and I think the prediction is. You mentioned, Marcus, that you were a luck merchant, and I think the prediction is that your luck will run out, and that by the end of the season, you'll be
By the end of the season, yeah.
well and truly in the beer zone. I do want
That
to
is spicy.
clarify that this I walked in at the very end of this crystal ball session, So you know, but it's
Might have missed that the whole thing was in opposite land, and I was over.
the opposite land. There you go. Hey, I just say it how it is. I tell it how it is. You know.
Thanks. We need that for once.
Wow, that's a huge bold prediction.
I love that. Wait, and I love that we'll have it on video.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Oh, thanks, Bailey. Let's see how those bold predictions play out this week and throughout the rest of the season. But for now, remember that the game week deadline is again Saturday morning. It's an early one, so get your teams in. If you're anything like Simeon, learn from his example. He smashed it last week. Head over to the Bayview, sink a few pints, make your transfers, and you're in luck.
Have a kebab. He had a kebab as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that's
He's a
dinner of champions. And then head over to Lee's for the game at night. I assume again he's inviting everyone. Thanks, Lee.
Yeah, awesome.
yeah.
Lee.
Lee will definitely be posting in the chat about his hospitality this weekend. Enjoy the football, and we'll catch you next week.
See you later.